Hi, this is Danielle Brecker. I organize with Empire State Indivisible. Last Sunday night, I participated in the second annual Activists Got talent show, and with the poem I'm about to share with you, I won that talent show. The talent show was a fundraiser for the great organization Vocal New York, and we were able to raise over $5,000 for Vocal. However, we want to raise more money. So I am making a video of my winning poem, sharing it with you with the hopes that you'll take a listen, and if you like it, or even if you don't, you'll chip in a few dollars to Vocal New York. I will share the link when I post the video. So with that said, here is my winning poem. I hope you enjoy. Tonight, I speak in rhyme about the strange, surreal time, the 365 days past since spring last. I wouldn't say it's been a blast. Gloom, doom, too much Zoom, no way to groom, stuck in a few small rooms as an election loomed. I live in the borough of Queens where everyone dreams, but last year we tore at the seams as the ambulance sirens screamed. We were not the ones from the city who fled. We woke up every day filled with dread of our neighbors not being fed, nowhere near enough hospital beds, and so many dead. People not getting paid, rent not being made. We were afraid, not enough help, even with mutual aid. The virus was a blight, and it's not right that it was a fight for a response with might that provided light. We had a president who didn't care, a governor who doesn't play fair, billionaires not paying their share. It's almost too much to bear. As the weather turned warm, there was more to mourn. George Floyd, the black son to a mother born by the police, his murder, not law and order. Even with the virus not complete, we were in the streets. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. It seemed that change was within range, but I don't know. We just go way too slow. The right verdict a few weeks back maybe put us on the right track, but injustice, violence, and killing still do not lack. It's happened before and before and before and again and again and again. I cannot comprehend. Why is there no end? Centuries of white supremacy. How do we upend? How do we mend? Make our country, city, state a fairer, more just place to stop the hate, to stop death by gender, immigration, religion, and race. Is the violence and death our only fate? Last year, as we marched in our tribute collars laced, were we too late to honor John Lewis's grace? Is our promise blown? Do we reap what we sow? No. No, no, it will not be so, because for sure the one thing that I know is that by vote, change will grow. Now my poem shifts direction. Earlier, I mentioned last year's looming election because no one wanted the coronavirus infection. From door knocking, there was a mandatory defection. So for months, we made calls every day for candidates in states far, far away, for upstate voters, for Samara Brook and Rachel May, for Joe Biden to my birth state of PA. Talking on the phone, I detest, but we could not rest. This was a democracy test and we did our very best. In October, I early voted on day one, stood in a line 10 blocks long in the sun. 4 hours later, I was done. The wait with my neighbors, I shared this to cast my vote for Biden-Harris and my state senator Generis on the Working Families Party line because they are the fairest. I filled in the little holes. I wasn't careless, wore my sticker for weeks, unembarrassed. Then, like for Godot, we waited, listening to the absurdist fraud claims some created. Did we do enough? We debated. 4 more years where we faded. The results came belated and we were elated. The 7th of November, a day I will always remember. From outside my door, a victory roar, impossible to ignore. Pennsylvania called, Trump falled by we, the people all. We cried, celebrated far and wide, marched in the streets from the Upper West Side, danced under the 7 train in Sunnyside. Here I would end gladly, but I cannot sadly, because still this could have ended badly. Just as we had senators too from Georgia knew, a US Senate with Dems not too few, we had no time to mew because there was a fucking coup. I take another change in direction because of this treasonous insurrection. We watched on TV. It was hard to conceive, still hard to believe. A sitting president peeved because he didn't want to leave. As an election confirmed, our Capitol stormed. Traitors didn't want the new president sworn. Few Republicans called out their bad form. This is not a democracy norm. But they would see the new president would be with a vice president for the first time a she. An inauguration with a poet much better than me, and in Albany, 2 supermajorities. So we can give bad laws the axe, take progressive values to the max, on polluters not be lax, the rich make sure we tax, and finally get our backs. You can bet we are not done yet. City candidates to vet, much more policy to get, a state executive to write set. Coming to the end of my soliloquy, it is not lost on me that without the 2018 IDC defeat and the resulting New York Senate majority, that would be voting reforms we would not see. No debate. We made New York State great, first rate, but in other states, a different fate awaits. Voting reforms not on their plate. Let's get this straight. Republicans cannot impress, so anti-democracy laws is their address. Voting, laws to suppress. People's voices, laws to oppress. Our democracy, laws to undress. The future, laws to make a mess if our US Senate doesn't pass 1S. But have no doubt, shouldn't be hard to figure out. We, the people, have the clout. On our power, you can always count. We survived 4 years of Trump's crazy cast, New York State's shady ass past, and excluded workers fund fast, loss, suffering, and grief that is vast. But we did not crack. Down we did not back. A fighting spirit we do not lack. We got on stack, put on our masks, stood up to the task. I say with all due tact, 2020 was not our final act. We fight on, and that is a fact.